Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again, and I'm back with another Bluey Top 10. And it's Valentine's Day, and there are two types of people in the world when it comes to this holiday. People who get to spend it with the people they love, whether it be a straight couple, LGBTQ couple, married couple, either way, they have plenty of reasons to feel loved this time of day. And the other type being people like me, single, lonely, and not really caring at all because of that. But that doesn't mean I can't celebrate it in other ways, as this is a very special top 10 to not only one of the best cartoon parents of our current generation, but also one of the best cartoon couples as well. That, of course, being Bandit and Chilli Heeler. When it comes to shows aimed at preschoolers, they usually focus on the kids rather than the parents, giving them less time to show their love for one another. There definitely are some, but in my opinion, none of them do it better than these two. Throughout the show, they have proven to be great when it comes to parenting, but they also have occasional moments when they act like they're in love, showing that they're more than just focusing on their kids, but each other as well. That's why I'm going to dedicate this list to some moments that make us, including me, believe in love. Because I myself would love to be a parent and show my dedication to my family and whoever I end up with. So I am just going to put on my Bandit and Chilli relationship goals pin, grab my Bandit and Chilli love mug, and get into my picks for the top 10 most romantic, or as Bluey would say, most romance Bandit and Chilli moments in Bluey. And just to be clear, I'm particularly looking at the moments, not the episodes themselves. And as always, this list will contain spoilers. Now, let the romance begin. Pool time from the episode Pool. In this episode, Bandit is taking the kids to their Uncle Stripe's pool, but he leaves behind the important stuff because Bandit wants to be the fun dad. But of course, that doesn't go well, as without the boring stuff, it's less fun at the pool, and more of a struggle to have fun in the pool. But thankfully, Chilli comes and brings the important stuff. What I absolutely love is that when it comes to Bandit and Chilli's relationship in this episode, they tend to have things they don't agree on. And while Bandit should have definitely brought the boring stuff like Chilli asked in the first place, you might think it's what'll cause Chilli to chew out her husband. But they decide not to argue and just enjoy their time in the pool with their children. And by far the best scene in the episode, in my opinion, is when Bandit and Chilli go up to each other with the I love you eyes, and Bluey goes underneath them in the water and looks up at Bandit and Chilli as they go up on each other for a kiss, and Bluey smiles, showing that while Bandit might not always be responsible, he's not irresponsible enough for Chilli to get mad. They shrug it off as the issue is resolved and just continue to show their love for each other in the end. This is one of the earliest examples of what to expect when it comes to their relationship. Number 9. Come Here, from the episode Relax. While this episode mostly focuses on Bluey and Bingo having fun in the hotel room they're staying in, it does have a heavy focus on Chilli wanting to relax without having to worry about anything, but she struggles to know how to relax, and she tries to relax on the beach but then goes back up to the hotel room. As she mentions, she doesn't know how to relax. And Bandit may be known for being a god-tier dad, but these are some of the moments I appreciate when it comes to him being a great husband to Chilli. As after Chilli mentions this, Bandit immediately comforts her by giving her a hug. It's truly a loving scene, showing that they're more than just the parents of the show. Besides, Bandit did something similar in the episode The Show, because he knew Chilli was probably going to get traumatized after seeing Bingo's pregnancy balloon, which you guys obviously know what I mean. Anyways, this scene may be short, but it certainly gave me the feels, and while I would have liked if Chilli hugged him back, the ending to the sign more than makes up for it. Seriously, I got teary-eyed when Bandit threw the sign, but cried a waterfall when Chilli tackled Bandit like that. Number 8. No Kids Allowed, from the episode Escape. This episode shows that for parents, it's one of those times you just want to take a break from your kids and have more time with each other for a while. As Bandit and Chilli take Bluey and Bingo to Nana's, they imagine a world where they can just relax without having to deal with their kids for a while. But when Bluey and Bingo then join the fantasy to go after them, they go and try to run away from them. What I love about this moment is that it shows, despite loving their kids, it's one of those times parents just need time alone together, showing despite them always being around the kids, they do tend to want to have some time to themselves once in a while. The episode itself is also very entertaining, with its imagination world done in a doodle-like setting, adding in more to the episode's creativity. And once Bluey and Bingo arrive at Nana's, they decide to continue to use their imagination instead of watching TV. And of course, Bandit and Chilli get some much-deserved parents-only time together, showing they still love when it's just them together. Very romance indeed. Number 7. We Made Them, from the episode Flat Pack. This is such a beautiful episode. In this, Bandit and Chilli are trying to build new furniture for their deck, but tend to struggle from trying to build it the right way, mostly because Bandit said it himself.
I'm not taking advice from a cartoon dog.
Meanwhile, Bluey and Bingo use pieces of the packaging used from the furniture to create their own little recreation of life, like pretending to be fish and lizards and growing up in their own little cardboard land. When Bandit and Chilli see the girls playing and being creative, their hearts melt in delight as they hold each other's backs and watch them and are just all around proud of what they brought into their lives together as a team. So as a team, they managed to get the job done while helping out each other during the process, and by the end, they tend to relax in the new swing they put together as Bluey joins them while holding hands behind her back. As they watch Bingo pretend to live the happiest life, the episode itself is such a meaningful and deep episode that always feels like it finds new ways to tug on your heartstrings. And this moment Bandit and Chilli have together show how much they're proud of the people they themselves brought into the world together. Just goes to show these two are a team and nothing could possibly break them. Number 6. Daddy Robot and Mommy Robot, from the episode Daddy Robot. This is by far the earliest example of how we were going to see more of Bandit and Chilli's relationship, as Bandit pretends to be a robot and has to tidy the room because Bluey and Bingo refuse to. So Bandit teaches them that it's important for kids to tidy up the place, even though it seems like parents always got to do the work. As Daddy Robot, or Bandit, pretends to short circuit, that's when they bring Chilli in the mix to distract him from her beauty, as it causes him to feel more calm, except when he does a random dance, and then he shuts down as Chilli is close to him while he shuts down. When they boot him back up, this causes the kids to want to tidy the room themselves, so Bandit and Chilli can relax. Mummy and Daddy Robot. They feel so relaxed that, of course, it ends with the first, and thankfully not the last time we see them kiss. From the sunset, to the music, to Bluey and Bingle's adorable reaction, it shows even the creators themselves love showing us how these two deeply love each other. It's both a very fun and meaningful episode that certainly teaches kids that cleaning up is important even when you're a toddler, and it ends on a very romance moment. Even robots would probably sit there and probably go, "Now I know I have a heart, because it's melting, just like ours." Number 5. The Love Letter, from Postman. This episode starts with Bandit and Chilli having a disagreement, causing Chilli to want to have time to herself. Of course, this causes Bluey and Bingo to believe they're enemies forever, which obviously isn't the case, so Bandit then decides to write her a love note saying that he still loves her, with a big heart in the middle, and Bluey and Bingo have to go and deliver it when they themselves start squabbling when they do two things at once during the game. Thankfully, they manage to make up. As it shows, people may squabble, but it's alright once you apologize. And by the end, they try to deliver the letter to Chilli by making it an airplane. Then it lands right on her as Bandit sees her look at the letter, and that expression on her face, the way she looks at it, it's just so touching. It shows despite their disagreements, they always want to make up in the end, showing that Bandit still loves Chilli and wants to stay with her. And as soon as Chilli sees it, we know she feels the exact same way. But what I really love is how before the plane reaches Chilli, it accidentally goes into Wendy's yard, but thankfully the plane turns around and goes to Chilli, which I think shows that the whole theory about Bandit cheating on Chilli with Wendy is just a load of bull. And it is, always was, and always will be false. This moment here certainly never fails to warm my heart. Number 4. Born to Dance, from the episode Work. Bandit is pretending to be at work and Bluey's the boss, causing him to do so many embarrassing things for her, like lick the floor or cleaning the window with his butt. Apparently he's not allowed to dance, but he's so good at it, he just can't help himself, causing him to lose his job. But thankfully, Bandit gets a new job as Chilli pretends to be a ballerina and asks him to dance with her during the night. It's already beautiful knowing that Chilli just wants to dance with her husband. And then it cuts to Bandit and Chilli dancing together in such a beautiful way. From the way they're animated to the delightful music, it's so endearing to see these two want to show their love for each other from time to time. It already helps how they're so dedicated to it, they honestly should perform in a dance competition together. It's just a cute moment, and it just desperately shows how much of these two were made for each other. Number 3. To romance from Fancy Restaurant. Bluey and Bingo themselves also love when their parents get romance. As they ask Bandit and Chilli to smoochy kiss, but they decide to make it more romantic when they pretend to run a fancy restaurant. But apparently, because it's been so long since they had a real romantic dinner together, they themselves aren't good at being romance anymore. Even though Bandit is trying hard because they know they still love each other, but because they have kids now, it's hard for them to understand how to be romance again. But of course, Bluey and Bingo try making it more romance as Bluey tries making music with her keytar, and Bingo makes a special dish for Chilli called The Special, and Bluey and Bingo want Chilli to eat the whole thing, like actually eat it. But what makes this episode for me is when Bandit decides to step in and take her place so she wouldn't have to suffer. This alone shows how deeply he loves his wife. He would go as far as to eat something disgusting for her so she wouldn't have to. And he literally eats the whole thing, and as Bandit and Chilli leave, he pukes it out in the backyard as Chilli rubs his back to comfort him, showing Bandit deserves the rub from saving her from having to do what he was doing for her. Despite the goal of this whole thing was for them to kiss, of course it didn't happen, but thankfully my number 2 entry more than makes up for that. Number 2. Smoochy Kiss from the episode Smoochy Kiss. Oh man, if this doesn't show how perfect these two are together, I don't know what will. Bluey assumes that Chilli doesn't like Bandit anymore, as just when they're about to kiss, Bluey and Bingo decide they want him all to themselves. But during this episode, they learn how gross Bandit can be. Like licking gravy from his chest, having really sweaty armpits, to farting, or as Bluey calls it, fluffying. But of course, there's the best one when Bandit pees on his foot.
I peed on my foot.
I'm actually surprised that Disney didn't censor this out with all the minor things they did cut out, but at the same time, I'm glad they didn't. But the romance truly comes in where, despite Bluey and Bingo not wanting them to kiss, Bandit and Chilli still try to get one in. But get this, as Bingo tries to get Chilli away from Bandit, it turns out later Chilli herself has gross habits too, like her morning breath and the fact she eats sardines on toast after she has the bad breath, making it even worse. But then Bluey and Bingo learn that their parents are used to that kind of stuff, and they have to take the good with the bad. Despite their gross habits, it shows how these two are alike too, and why they were simply made for one another. They lived with it for so long, no matter how gross they are, they still love each other and refuse to want to be apart. Why else do you think they were trying to kiss throughout this whole episode? And of course, it ends with them finally having their smoochy kiss. But you know what I find a bit confusing is that the first time we saw them kiss, they were delighted, and the second time, Bluey was happy. And the third time, yeah, not so much. But still, they mentioned they liked it when they kissed, so, well, never mind. They're kids. They get used to it, but what I love most about this is how Bandit kisses her despite her bad breath, and the fact she ate sardines 15 seconds just before kissing her. I can't imagine most people enjoying that, but Bandit proves he loves her so much, he could care less. It may be kind of a gross episode, but that's the point. It's disgusting yet very romance, showing these two have proven to be the perfect couple. And as always, I have a few honorable mentions before getting to number 1. The wedding photo from Puppets. It's so nice that we get to see a quick glimpse of Bandit and Chilli's marriage, almost making me want to see their own wedding in an episode, despite they already did that in the sign with Rad and Frisky. Bus Babies. From the episode Bus. Chilli pretends to be a bus passenger who's secretly in love with the bus driver, and by the end of it, she blurts out,
"I'd like to get married and have your bus babies."
It shows the creators how great they are at writing when it comes to humor. Whale Love, from Pirates. As Bluey, Bingo, Bandit, Chilli, and Missy play pirates, Bandit pretends to be a whale, and it ends with him returning home to his whale wife who loved him that little bit more now. It's already sweet how we see them on the bench together in the beginning. We might as well see something similar in the end. Bluey and Bingo's play about their parents, from the show. It might not actually be how they met, but honestly, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing a version where it actually was, just for laughs. Also, Bandit immediately grabs Chilli's hand after the miscarriage scene. Like I said, he's such a great husband. And my pick for the most romantic Bandit and Chilli moment? Fairy Tale ending from the episode Fairy Tale. This is one of the biggest debates if this was actually how Bandit and Chilli first met. On the one hand, Bandit believes it was, but on the other hand, Chilli doesn't remember it at all. Throughout the episode, Bandit gets jinxed so that he can be taught a lesson about picking on his little brother, and no one, not even his own mother, was going to say his name. However, the curse gets broken by a little girl in a She-Ra outfit, which we all believe to be Chilli, as Chilli picks Bandit's hat up and gives it to him. As Chilli runs off, Bandit immediately falls for her once she leaves, even though it hasn't been confirmed if this was actually how they met. Some people think it was actually Chilli's sister Brandy he met, which might be possible, as Chilli mentions that the actual time they first met was during a party in London, which was in the show, the episode, the show. But what makes Bluey so great is how it leaves the audience to decide what actually happened, just like in Stickbird, where people didn't know why Bandit was upset. I personally think it was because of how they originally had to move. It might be possible this could be resolved in another season or maybe the upcoming movie, but whether or not it's true, by the end of the day, as Bandit and Chilli put their kids to bed, they choose not to argue about it, because whether or not it was how they first met, it doesn't matter. They fell in love, and they've shown that throughout the series. It's a deeply beautiful scene that is just all around why these two are still deep for one another, that they're a team. They bicker sometimes, but not enough where they don't want to be together anymore. They have gross habits, they want to spend more time together, they have a deep love that you just can't break apart. That's why the fact that fans make up all these theories about Bandit cheating on Chilli with Wendy, or Chilli cheating on Bandit with Pat, is just baffling. If that were true, all these moments would have just been for nothing, and if they were to tackle events of cheating, it would be on a couple we didn't know about, not ones we knew since episode 1. The moments they had with their neighbors, I think, was just supposed to be for comedy. It wasn't Ludo's intention to have people think it differently. Besides, the theory about Pat and Chilli was already denied. You wanna know how I know that? Simple. Chilli's voice actress, Melanie Zanetti, had this to say.
I've heard some slanderous things about Chilli and Lucky's dad, which are not true. Just for the record, Bandit and Chilli forever.
If that's the case, it's obviously the same for Bandit and Wendy. It's never gonna change. And why should it? All these moments show that they're more than just your basic parents in a show made for preschoolers, or supposedly made for preschoolers, as it's much more than that. It is far from being your basic preschool show. It's literally something for everyone. It has something everyone can enjoy. It's not just focusing on the basics like your ABCs or your 1, 2, 3s. No, this tackles real world subjects that kids and parents and non-parents like myself can relate to. And these two act like a real couple. And when it comes to parenting, these two not only act like great parents, but they act like a real couple. They have a deep love for one another, and it shows. You can't have Bluey without both Bandit and Chilli together. Besides, if Bandit's parents can grow old and still be together, it's obviously going to be the same for Bandit and Chilli, which it is. The previous episode shows that. Even more proof. They're not only great parents, but a great couple all around, and these moments all around show that they truly were made for one another. And I just love how there's even merch that show their love for one another too, and that alone just proves that you can't have Bandit without Chilli, you can't have Chilli without Bandit. Bandit and Chilli certainly are the definition of, well, relationship goals. Even the official Bluey website and official Bluey Facebook and Twitter pages know that. To quote Melanie Zanetti again, Bandit and Chilli forever. I know I might have missed a few moments. If I did, let me know in the comments, and maybe let me know what some of your favorite Bandit and Chilli moments are in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like or maybe subscribe for more, as I also do movie reviews and video game reviews and stuff like that. I also recommend checking out these previous Bluey Top 10 lists if you haven't already. I think you might enjoy them if you enjoyed this. And yeah, hope you guys have a great Valentine's Day, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.